Guys, let's talk about Donald Trump. I actually think that he's actually a really scared man. I actually really do. Like, I get it from the way that he talks, you know? Like, there's just this weirdness in the way that he talks when he's like, Letitia James she is a treason to America. I am being held to contempt and I got rid of Roe versus Wade for you. The globalists are trying to attack me. They're trying to come after you, so I'm fighting. You know, it's like that weird stuff. And I feel like it's really like I feel like that is basically Donald Trump's way of saying, I'm very scared. You know, the thing with narcissists is they have a problem admitting when they're vulnerable. They have a problem with vulnerability that's associated with the way that adults work things out. That basically is something inherent in them because it goes back to some sort of faults that they had in their development when they were a child. Like, you know, look at that video of Mary Trump talking about Donald Trump and the mashed potatoes. You know, he's that humiliated child who's just like, yeah, not letting it go. What's scariest about Donald Trump being scared is that he is inside of there is the temperament of a 5-year-old who's throwing their toy trucks and toy I don't know, toy Tonka trucks and Legos and stuff around their room. But this is the person who has obviously the power to incite violence among his most extreme followers. You know, don't even get me started on the fact that he still has followers that are willing to do his disgusting bidding. You know, I look at these people and I wonder what is it going to take for them to realize that they are ruining their lives. But yeah, I really think that through Donald Trump's weird rants where he goes off about how he thinks that he ran against President Obama in 2016 and how whales are, you know, I don't know, he's talking about really, really crazy stuff. I think that it's the mental breakdown of the narcissist. I argue that we're seeing the same thing with Mitch McConnell. It's just in a different way. You know, when the narcissist literally starts to lose their power and, you know, somewhere in the delusional narcissist minds, they've built up this idea that they are infallible, that they are literally invincible, that they will live forever. But obviously, we all know that that's not true. You know, nobody lives forever. So when that starts to be proven that they are just mere mortals, they cannot accept that worldview. And so basically, a lot of narcissists actually do end their lives in bouts with things like Alzheimer's and, you know, just sort of this vegetative haze. I mean, they will grow worse as they get older. The way that Dr. Romney says, if you are a sweet, lovely person in your youth, as you get older, you basically will get sweeter and lovelier. But if you are a terrible narcissistic tyrant in your youth, as you get older, you will turn more into a tyrant, more into a narcissist, more angry, more aggressive. Um, and at the very end, you know, whether you are a narcissist who's like sweet with this whole facade, or you're a narcissist who literally is, you know, evil incarnate, you basically just start to lose all of your mental faculties because narcissists live in the delusion. So I think the next time you listen to Donald Trump just speaking in this monotone sort of yell, he sort of speaks in this monotone, flat yell, whether it is an all caps social post or is outside of a court proceeding that he is actually a part of, or is at one of his rallies with fake union workers, with fake union worker signs. It's always in this sort of just like plateaued, like yelling. Just really listen to him. I think he's telling us that he's scared, you know? The globalists are trying to attack me, and so I'm advocating for you to, you know, it's like, I feel like that's him saying, I'm scared, you know, and the more unhinged that he gets, I really think that that's him saying that he's scared. I think that that's the fact that he went to this court case where they said, we about to shut Trump Tower down, which I'm like, shut it down, shut it on down. But the fact that he actually showed up in the courthouse for that one, I think tells us where this is heading. Um, Oh Lord, this doesn't end well. This really doesn't end well. And a certain part of me is very sad that American culture allowed this monster to be created in the first place, because I think Donald Trump has probably faced many times in his life to face justice, to face discipline, and many times the system has just let him slide by, as it's let many people slide by. Ain't it funny that, you know, the system always gives opportunities to people who are just absolutely morally corrupt, but the people who actually want to help human beings, help Americans, those are the ones that the system usually rejects. I think it asks us a bigger sociological question. It's a bigger question at hand, is can we change the way that we look at success in society? Maybe success doesn't have to be the person in the room who is the loudest. Maybe success is the person who is a combination of intellectually and emotionally intelligent, someone who has really studied into their craft, especially in policy and politics, government. I mean, I have no idea how this, well, I know how this man became president. It's because people didn't vote. This is just even more of a reason to get out there and vote blue in 2024. Do not listen to the sort of disinformation slash fake news slash uninformed far right propaganda media, and even some of the major media players. Listen to Nashville right now. You're going to need to vote blue in 2024 if you don't want America to turn into fascist Germany. And it's not like Donald Trump would have gone into this thinking, I'm going to become baby Hitler. Like, no, that wasn't his thing. It's just that he has lived his life so long on not being checked, on getting by lying and deceiving. I see this all the time. As I said, I'm a black woman who's worked in corporate America for 10 years. I've seen this all the time. It's time for us to change this culture. There used to be a time where America was built on integrity. It's time to get back to integrity. He's scared. He's scared. I'm coming after you for the globalists, the q-anon. If you look at the thing, it's a... And him calling Letitia James a racist, can I just call out how absurd that is? How disrespectful it is to the legacy of black people everywhere who actually came from generations of slaves, who were dragged and beaten into the United States. Black people have finally advocated their way into rights. It wasn't the Republican Party that gave black people the rights they have today. It was black people, along with the help of Congress. But no. No. Despite all the misquoted Martin Luther King citations that you see from random MAGA Republicans trying to push their own agenda, that the Republican Party somehow is like the party of the black man and that they've done so much for black people. No. Yeah. Guys, we need a mentality shift. We're going to need a culture change. We're going to need to prevent this from happening again. Part of it is Gen Z, millennial. You guys get out there and vote. If you want to know more about all the ins and outs of voting for different officials, for the president, how Congress works, check out my video about how Gen Z and millennials dropped the ball about the 3 branches of government. Take a look at it. Take a look at Ballotpedia. That's a great resource. Pluralpolicy.com. Yeah, we're going to have to turn this around, guys. And hopefully, Gen Z and millennial and alpha generation, we won't allow this neo-Nazi, neo-fascism, white supremacy, win at all costs, racketeering, fraud, a presidential administration that is essentially a mob type culture ever spring up again. Let's let this teach us, okay? My parents' generation, they had Jim Crow, okay? We had Donald Trump. Let's try not to let it happen again.